Good fights and good action are one thing, but we can't help but love those moments when we see our hero just lose all control. Could be someone they love getting hurt, or just the final straw pushing them over the edge. But when they lose their cool and enter this ultimate rage state, we can't help but love it. Great of you to join us once again at Animeology. Today we'll be covering our absolute favourite rage moments in anime. We don't want to tell you too much about these specific moments, so we'll try and avoid spoilers, but definitely check out these animes. Number 10. The Final Fight, Noragami.
今われし願いに応え、志願を地に染め上げる荒御霊。
We're trying to avoid spoilers, man. It's going to be exceptionally hard with Noragami. Legitimately a fantastic anime. Easily the most epic rage moment is shown in the final fight, when our MC truly reveals his power level and potential unlike anything we've ever seen before. An absolutely brilliant action fantasy series with some nice supernatural flavours. Noragami is an all-round quality anime, following Hirori Ikki, a normal middle school girl that gets involved in a bus accident, causing her soul to slip out of her body and making her aware of these other planes of existence. She meets the strange, nameless god without a shrine. Yato, this drifting god, is determined to make a name for himself, and Hirori enlists his help to get her body fixed. Alongside the human personification of Yato's weapon, the trio travel through many epic adventures whilst further developing their friendship, identity, and confronting some surprisingly mature and in-depth aspects of their personality. But of course, the power of a god is nothing to be trifled with, no matter how big or small. And Yato seems relatively relaxed and pleasant on the outside. As the final fight shows, you do not want to anger a god. Number 9. Luffy vs Saint Charlos, One Piece. You can't talk epic fights without mentioning One Piece. Seriously, this is one of the greatest strengths of this anime. It may not be gritty or dirty battles, but throughout its extended run, One Piece has amazed us time and time again with how awesome its battles get. With none more awesome than the Luffy and Saint Charlos fight. Do I even need to tell you what One Piece is? One of the most famous animes in the world. One Piece has been running both in manga and anime form since the 1990s. The classic tale of Monkey D. Luffy with his lovable crew as they sail across the planet with the goal of Luffy one day becoming the Pirate King. Brilliant adventure, awesome fantasy, and some of the greatest fight scenes you will ever come across. There are seriously a lot of awesome fights and rage-filled moments across One Piece, but few can compare to how epic the Luffy vs Saint Charlos fight was. Without giving away too much, Luffy gets so angry he literally punches the colour out of Saint Charlos. Number 8. Gintoki vs Jirocho, Gintama.
今時七三分けなんて流行んねえし、この際すっきり丸刈りにしておしゃれ坊主にでもしてみたらどうですか?
A bit more on the light-hearted side of things, Gintama is a science fiction comedy with a great sense of adventure. The core draw of this series is the MC, Gintoki Sakata, a very engaging and interesting character that really blends well with both the setting and the captivating cast of unique characters. A long-running series with no signs of stopping, Gintama has certainly seen its fair share of rage-filled moments, but none come close to the face-off against Jiroko. The story itself is set in an alternate past history during the Samurai Age of Japan, with aliens arriving on Earth and the cowardly leaders giving up to the aliens. Years have passed since then, and we follow an odd but charismatic samurai, Gintoki. Travelling around and performing odd jobs, Gintoki gets caught up in many unique and exciting adventures with an overarching plot that develops at a reasonable pace. A pretty relaxed and fun MC to follow, which makes the moments when Gintoki loses his cool and lets his rage get hold of him all the more epic. And you don't get much more epic than when our MC faces off against Jirocho. Number 7. Takamura vs Hawk, New Challenger. He's one of the greatest sports animes ever created, New Challenger gives us a closer look at the world of boxing. An absolutely brilliant ride with some high-intensity situations, but still not afraid to get into the more light-hearted and comedic when it needs to. The actual fights in New Challenger are what truly sets us apart from the rest. Each fight gets wilder and wilder, with characters needing to overcome unique and seemingly insurmountable odds in order to win. But, of course, New Challenger isn't afraid to throw some seriously depressing losses our way. There are few more epic rage moments than Takamura vs Hawk fight. Seriously, that was on a completely different level. Although the boxers try and clear their minds before a fight, it's hard to ignore the surrounding story behind our MC's mentor, Takamura, getting back into the ring in an epic battle against Hawk. There is a reason New Challenger is considered the greatest, with an enjoyable cast of characters, some fresh story arcs, and the very well thought out world of boxing. This is an anime series filled with some epic fights and rage moments that you need to check out. Number 6. Natsu Dragoneel vs Zero. Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail was a pretty popular series on its release, but the hype sort of died down towards the end of its run. Still a very fun and exciting adventure fantasy tale that really fleshed out a well-imagined and awesome magical realm. We followed the lovable Natsu Dragoneel on his epic quest to find the powerful dragon, Igneel. Across his journey through the world of Earthland, our hero starts to meet an interesting cast of characters, from ice wizards to knights to other dragon slayers like himself, embarking on a number of epic journeys through interesting story arcs and slowly increasing their power level as well as their bond. Through happiness, sadness, friendship and more, Fairy Tail really brought that hero's journey to a whole new level. But when emotions run high and his loved ones are threatened, Natsu has no choice but to channel his ultimate rage into one of the most epic moments we've ever seen in an anime. After consuming the Flame of Rebuke, our hero attains the Dragon Force form and rages through an absolute crazy scene that you need to check out. A brilliant anime series with some crazy moments that I'll not be spoiling for you. Check out Fairy Tail, you won't regret it. Number 5. Black Lagoon, Roberta's Blood Trail.
From the foul stench, I knew this town would be filled with animals. But then our family's mortal enemies have always smelled like dirty pig.
Rage doesn't have to be magic power filling the screen or unlocking a secret special ability. Rage can just be a whole new level of anger that pushes you to the next level. Black Lagoon is a modern classic that shows us epic rage doesn't need a supernatural or fantasy twist to keep us thrilled. One of the most original anime and manga series we've ever come across. Black Lagoon is set in the 90s across Southeast Asia, focusing on a group of pirates that smuggle goods around the ocean. Coming across a great deal, international scumbags ranging from Yakuza to triads, cartel to mafia, Black Lagoon really has it all. With diverse and fresh story arcs that really explore the criminal and seedy underbelly of being a modern-day pirate. Black Lagoon has us on the edge of our seats from the very first episode. Go check out Black Lagoon and watch out for Roberta's Blood Trail. Just know chainsaws are involved. Number 4. Naruto vs Pain, Naruto. Naruto is not known for his rage or his anger, so when he really unleashes it, you know it's going to be epic. An extremely visually distinct and unforgettable fight, this is one of those moments we aren't going to be forgetting anytime soon. Naruto is another classic in anime and one of the largest among Western audiences. It might seem lengthy with a truckload of fillers, but we definitely recommend checking it out. Naruto wasn't revolutionary when it came out, but it really elevated storytelling and delivered an extremely polished and enjoyable watch that is adored by anime fans from around the world. A brilliant sense of adventure with some absolutely hilarious comedic scenes. A brilliant display of martial arts with magic that isn't too far over the edge. join Naruto on his journey to become the leader and savior of his village. Number 3. Roy vs Envy, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Although Full Metal Alchemist is considered one of the greatest anime series of all time, many fans of the manga were disappointed with the direction the anime decided to wrap up the series, considering the fact that the manga was not finished at the time. Brotherhood came out a few years later with a vastly different ending. If you need a reason to watch Brotherhood over the original, then the Roy Mustang vs Envy fight should be more than enough. Seriously, the level of anger and rage we've seen in this fight really had our eyes wide open. Any Full Metal Alchemist lover will tell you that the core story and the development really elevates this anime to a completely different level. It really is unlike any other series, an awesome steampunk world with some extremely grim dark fantasy elements. Full Metal Alchemist is considered one of the greatest animes ever made, and it's very easy to see why. Number 2. Sosuke vs Ichigo, Bleach. Bleach is one of the most well-known and longest-running anime series for a good reason. Known for its extremely imaginative and horrific enemy design, as well as its slick and stylish MC, as well as its fairly simplistic but well-designed core storyline. Although many anime fans are pretty divided about Bleach, that it brings some of the coolest fights and action scenes to the anime world. And few fights get more epic and intense than the Aizen vs Ichigo battle. Ichigo might be one of the coolest MCs in any anime series, with his orange hair and huge sword that only gets larger throughout the series as he gets more powerful. A really powerful and talented swordsman, Ichigo often faces little trouble when facing off against the hordes of hollows during Bleach. But every now and then, Ichigo gets pushed to the limit, and that's when we really see his insane level of rage pour out and get channeled into his epic fighting style. The fight scenes in Bleach really put this anime into a league of its own. A huge series with a lot to get into, we definitely recommend you check out Bleach. There are rumours that there is a new season coming out soon. And number 1, Gon vs Pitou, Hunter x Hunter. A long-running anime great, Hunter x Hunter is often a lighter and adventure-filled series with some brilliant martial arts fights and a great sense of fantasy. A real coming-of-age story, we follow the young Gon Freaks that looks to follow in his father's footsteps and one day become a hunter. An epic journey to become a hunter and eventually find his father, Hunter x Hunter takes us to some interesting and extremely captivating places across this imaginative fantasy realm. Gon himself is a really lovable MC, friendly and lovable and determined. That makes his insane level of range in the Pitou fight something that still scars us to this day. To see our hero pushed to the very edge until he can't help but lose control, really speaking to the inner hunter within and pushing Gon Freaks to the very limit. This is an anime you have to watch and an epic rage moment you cannot miss out on.